Hello, welcome back here to Lady Lovestead Reads. My name is Jessica, and today I'm sharing with you my favorite quotes from April 2025. In these videos, I share with you quotes from the books that I read in the month, and I'm really careful to make sure that none of the quotes are spoilery. That being said, I do tend to read some dark and twisted books. So please do check your trigger warnings before picking up any of the books that I talk about in this video. I don't share triggers either because I think that they're spoilery. But if you have any concerns, I recommend using the app Storygraph. I want to start the video by sharing a quote that was shared on my March quotes video. Whenever you've come across a quote that you really like, please feel free to share those quotes in the comments when I do these videos because we're collecting a vault of wonderful quotes. So Pat G7714 shared this quote from Braiding Sweetgrass by Robin Wall Kimmerer. I love this book. If you haven't read Braiding Sweetgrass, definitely pick it up. So this quote says, "Even a wounded world is feeding us. Even a wounded world holds us, giving us moments of wonder and joy. I choose joy over despair, not because I have my head in the sand, but because joy is what the earth gives me daily, and I must return the gift." It's so beautiful. Like, that whole book is full of quotable moments for sure. So definitely check that book out. And thank you to Pat for adding to our vault of quotes from last month's video. Next, I will share with you quotes from the books I read in April. From Rosie's Traveling Tea Shop by Rebecca Raisin, we have, "And one thing I've learned is there's no right way to walk this earth, and we can only learn from those in our lives. Take whatever lesson we can from it and keep going." Wise words. From The Midnight Feast by Lucy Foley, "Turns out a leopard doesn't change its spots, even if it's covered them up with some wellness bullshit and white linen." From The Grandest Game by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, "Some people can make mistakes, make amends, and move on, and some of us live with each and every mistake we make, carved into us, into hollow places we don't know how to fill." That is really good. I didn't love that book, but I do love that quote. The next several come from The Berry Pickers by Amanda Peters. So first it says, "I found it strange that no word exists for a parent who loses a child. If children lose their parents, they are orphans. If a husband loses his wife, he's a widower. But there's no word for a parent who loses a child. I've come to believe that the event is just too big, too monstrous, too overwhelming for words. No word could ever describe the feeling, so we leave it unsaid." The next one. "I don't have time for regret or the emotional strength it requires. I see the world unfolding as it is meant to. Sometimes I have trouble finding meaning in the things that happen to me, but I assume that the universe knows what it's doing." Next. "Even people who exude light and happiness have dark secrets. Sometimes the lie becomes so entrenched it becomes the truth, hidden away in the deep recesses of the mind until death erases it, leaving the world a little different. Secrets and lies can take on a life of their own. They can be twisted and manipulated, or they can burst into the world from the mouth of someone just as they are starting to lose their mind." Next. "Fate is a trickster. He likes to set up all the clues just to see if you can put them together and make sense of the things you never thought to make sense of in the first place." Yeah, and that was the last one from The Berry Pickers. Next, from Tide by Carianne Cole, we have, "Death doesn't erase fear or memories. The monsters that live inside us are much harder to get rid of. I'm getting better at battling them, though." And the last quote from the books I read this month comes from Colored Television by Danzy Senna. And this was probably my favorite part of this book, was how she talks about education. So the quote says, "One of the strange parts of being a teacher was how it made the time seem to stand still. If you didn't look in the mirror, you could almost trick yourself into thinking that time wasn't passing, because your students kept staying the same young age year after year. You could fail to notice that you, nevertheless, were getting older." I love that. As an educator myself, that was my favorite part of that book. Okay, and then the last thing that I'll share with you is quotes that people have shared in the Discord. If you are feeling really comfortable here and at home here at the Lovestead, consider joining the Discord and joining our conversations. I have a thread in the Discord called the Quotes Vault, where people can share quotes that they find while they are reading. And let me share some that have been posted in there since the last video. All right. And just to protect privacy, I'm not going to share who posted it. I will just share the quote. From Sigh and Witness to Murder. They didn't list an author for that. But the quote is, reading a book is the best thing a person can do alone. Oh, I love that. From A Cop and a Coop by Hilary Avis. I thought he was up in Canada married to a moose and taking care of maple flavored babies. And then the last one shared since the last video is from The Old Girl's Chateau Escape by Galley. It says, I think we need to not always assume that family is the best thing for us, because sometimes they are the worst. Whew! That is the truth. Oh, and then one more. From The Last Chance Library by Freya Sampson. It says, and she understood implicitly what it felt like to be more at home with books and with people, to prefer the adventures and travels within their pages to those in real life. So awesome. If you would like to see these quotes yourself, feel free to join the Discord. And then you would be welcome also to add any quotes that you like to the comments down below or in the quotes vault in the Discord as well. And I will share them in next month's video. That's all for today, folks. Since most of these quotes seem to have come from The Berry Pickers by Amanda Peters, go ahead and leave me any sort of berry emoji. And until next time, make sure that you continue to read good books, drink good coffee, take care of yourselves and each other. Bye!